Hallelujah!
Welcome to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt, and welcome to the 21st day of the Minnesota Whiskey Elite Blind Whiskey Tasting Advent Calendar for ant enthusiasts, both the animal and the relative, and uncle enthusiasts, just the relative. 21st day means there's only 5 videos left, including this one. I grabbed the 21st sample from the blind whiskey tasting box. I'm gonna pour it in a glass and let you know if it rocks my socks or my Christmas stocking. 21 is my wife's lucky number. It's also my 6-year-old's lucky number. I'm not sure if she copied my wife or if she just came up with it on her own, but either way, we'll see how lucky it is once I get down to the biz, which we're doing right now. America. Zing! What type of pour is in store on day 21? Will it be bad or will it be fun? There's only one way to know, and that's to go in for a no. It was a nose. First smell of day number 21, and I'm stricken with familiar notes of whiskey that I'm familiar with. It's very citrusy, almost like a Sprite remix. It has a very carbonated soda vibe to it, like a citrus carbonated soda. Once again, Sprite remix. Color on it is relatively dark, and the legs are forming. This has potential to be a rye whiskey. It's very caramelly, but also with like a sprig of mint or a hint of mint, if you would rather me rhyme something. The more I nose it, the more the familiarity is starting to vanish, it's starting to disappear. The more I smell it, the more I'm like, maybe I don't have roots growing. There is an overlayment, not an underlayment, an overlayment of some other characteristic that I can only smell with my mouth open. If I close my mouth, I can't smell it. If I open my mouth, it's there, and it's like a layer of paint on a ceiling, but I can't quite put my finger on what delicious flavor of paint it is. It's almost like a popcorn. Like a popcorn top. Like a popcorn ceiling. There we go. Like a buttered popcorn. Time to get serious. Disabling ears. Disabling other senses that don't matter. Touch, feel, emotions. Now I'm just a tasting robot, and I'm about to taste this whiskey so hot. I mean good, so good. If you are prepared to be amazed, then watch me drink this whiskey and tell you everything about it that you may or may not know, having not or maybe tasted it before. Malfunction, not great, sorry. Reboot, unplug it, plug it back in, not working so good. Sorry. Down the hatch, day number 21, here we go. Wow, day 21 seems to be both familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. Day 21 smells and tastes like there's a little bit of shenanigans going on, because the nose reminded me of something right away, but then there was like a lofty popcorn ceiling note that wasn't necessarily like cohesive. I was getting rye notes on the nose, but also not. I'm gonna go out on a total limb here. I have no idea what's in the envelope, but I'm guessing that day 21 is Shenanigans, and that Damon and or Daniel or someone mixed 2 things together, a bourbon and a rye. I'm guessing this is a custom Minnesota Whiskey Elite blend of some sort that is a rye, a bourbon and a rye combined. Do I love it? Hard to say. Am I more or less confused by it? Yeah. Now going back to the nose, and there's like a cherry RC Cola kind of thing happening here. It's kind of like a cinnamon hard candy. If you took one of those Sugar Daddy caramel suckers and then dipped it in a layer of like candy cinnamon, that's kind of what we're tasting here. It's like a caramel candy cinnamon. The finish is lingering but not holding on for dear life. But I will say that I think that this is a good to very good whiskey, and I do enjoy it. It is a bit perplexing, and I would like to sit with a pour of it over the course of time and really kind of dissect it and pick it apart. On day 21, I give this pour a score of 7.7. Am I gonna be surprised when I find out what it is? Probably. I was deciding on between good and very good, and after nosing it and tasting it a bit longer, I went for For the latter, a very good whiskey, a 7.7. On day number 21 of the Minnesota Whiskey Elite Advent Calendar, I was drinking the least nutty Elijah Craig barrel proof single barrel I've ever tasted. Selected by Matt Rasmussen for the No Water, No Whiskey Cherry, 8 years old, 122.7 proof. Day number 21 info, No Water, No Whiskey is a nonprofit where 100% of the proceeds go to the Minnesota American Water Works Association philanthropic, committee to support global access to safe drinking water. That is amazing. No water, no whiskey. That's awesome. That is weirdly so not nutty. Even knowing what it is and then smelling it, that is so off profile and good. Do I think it's a magnificent representation of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof? No, because it's so off profile. It's just a super magnificent representation of how off-profile different barrels can be. This smells, going back to the nose, so like effervescent. Shout out Julie like for the word. And like soda pop like I can almost smell a rush of bubbles of Sprite. No nuts were harmed in making that Elijah Craig single barrel, am I right? I would say that that's probably the most interesting single barrel of the bunch so far, just as far as like profile goes. Totally off profile and super good. Thank you so much, Minnesota Whiskey Elite, for sending that. This has been a fun day. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey. Like I always say, keep your head in the clouds but your mind on fitting in all the Christmas movies you can before the big day. After Christmas is over with, you don't really want to be messing around with Christmas movies anymore. It's like, oh, that was so last week. So you gotta fit them in. My wife and I have a tradition that every Christmas we must watch the Seth Rogen movie called The Night Before. If you ever wondered where the hallelujah comes from at the beginning of this video, then you need to watch The Night Before with Seth Rogen. That is a friggin' Christmas jam right there. And I don't care who knows it. Love you all so much. Hit subscribe and hit the thumbs up. Otherwise, I'm gonna beat you with a friggin' Christmas hammer. A toy one though, because a real one would do way too much damage for Christmas.